You think I did extra? Diamond extra pass me. This December like this. Access Bank won't drop millionaire for this Diamond extra mega draw from 6th of December until Christmas Day. One person go to win 1 million naira every day. On the 25th of December, one person go win 10 million naira. And another person go win salary for life. Salary for life means say Access Bank will pay you 100,000 every month for 20 years. You don't believe me? Sierra go open Diamond extra account with 5,000 naira. Then increase them until you reach 50,000 naira. You will get Diamond extra account already. Just summer your account till you reach 50,000 naira. That means you don't carry leg enter the Diamond extra mega draw. The more 50,000 naira where you laugh enter the account, the more tickets you get. If you need more information, just visit www. That's it. Access more than banking.
Hello, good evening and welcome once again to another exciting moment of investment education, investment news, analysis of stocks, and a total empowerment package for you. I'm Abayomi or Babulito. We've got a lot to do on the platform this evening because again there are lots of information at the market arena. I know there were about 4 or 5 companies that released their third quarter, second quarter earnings to the market in the course of last week, but looking at them very critically, I just felt that 2 of them are not so much worth of much talk anyway. And you can go on our website, stocksng.com, stockng.com, to read them up. But we're going to be creating the time to talk about 2 of them much more. We're going to be giving you a comprehensive market analysis beyond what you can have access to on any platform, either website or radio or TV. We give you the best as far as the equity market is concerned. So please call a friend, call a family member, call a colleague, let them tune in to this platform right away. I will be right back, and when I return, it will be an explosive session with Malam Garba Kurfi and also our friend Aruna Kibera. Don't change this channel. I will be right back.
This is the future. This is the time to do more, give more, help more, be more. A future where more compassion and more empathy will make us more human. A future where more technologies and more digital platforms will help bring more people to safety and prosperity. Welcome to the future. Here, you can be more with us. Access, more than banking.
Welcome back. Please join me first in welcoming Malam Garba Kurfi, is the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of APT Securities and Funds Limited, member Nigerian Stock Exchange. Malam, you're welcome.
You are welcome. I'm happy to be with you.
Also join me in welcoming our friend Aruna Kibera. Aruna Kibera is the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of Global View Capital Limited, also member Nigerian Stock Exchange, or member Nigerian Exchange Group, whichever way. Aruna, you're welcome.
Thank you for always having me.
All right, let's quickly go straight to business because we've got a lot to do, and some of them are actually take a little bit of our time. They actually require such expanded explanation and discussion. Well, we start. Aruna, will start from you because you are the economist here. The Central Bank of Nigeria retains MPR at 11.5% for the 6th consecutive time. At the end of its 2-day meeting on Tuesday of last week in Abuja, the Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele mentioned that members of the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria unanimously voted to retain the monetary policy rate at 11.5%, while skipping all other monetary parameters constant. This will be the sixth consecutive time this year that the rates remained unchanged. So I put it to you, how well can we say that central bank's economic policies have stabilized the Nigerian economy such that it should warrant six consecutive meetings without an adjustment in rates?
You know, I think what we know is that you do not change a winning formula, and policies are judged by the outcome. And we discovered that for while CBN discovered that it's not only through monetary policy that they can achieve a development in the system, they went into intervention by empowering our farmers to be able to produce those goods that we produce outside. And if you look at it, MPR was reduced 12.5 to 11.5 2020, and the GDP was having a negative growth of minus 3.62. We know exactly what the GDP is as we speak. And inflation is moderating. Inflation started the year 18.17%, and as at the last print, inflation was 50.99%. Even when the naira has been technically devalued, we can see that because of growth in our reserve, which is as a result of the oil, because the benchmark for the 2021 budget was $40, and the oil is hovering around $84. And so the CBN can have enough money to defend the naira and the FX and the I and E window. So when all these things are working and the rates in the money market are encouraging, company results that be released for Q3 are encouraging, and the capital market is growing. So why should they change it? What they actually wanted to do by reducing it from 12.5% to 11.5% to make money available in the risk sector to crash cost of funds. And actually there is a growth from the numbers that are being released from NBS. It shows that the economy is growing.
Malam, on paper, we can say the economy is growing on paper, but in practical sense, with what you and me know, with what we see generally among the people, with what we hear from people, with what we see, can we really say that the economy is growing such that we warrant the central bank retaining rates for six straight period?
Well, I agree with you that you cannot say so. But I'm not surprised, because I remember during this governor, there was a time he sustained this rate for 30 months, 30 consecutive times. And this to tell you that is not the practice of in economics. Economics tamper with the variable, because once you tamper with the variable, the outcome change. And what an economics is after is the changes of the outcomes, so that whether good or bad, he will just trigger it. And that is why you see during the previous two governors, they always tamper with this rate, because they are interested in the outcomes, not consistent. So I will say that I'm not surprised. Yes, the outcome, but I can tell you quite a number of the outcome is not because they sustain the monetary policy. It's just I see it as somebody have exhausted all his bullet, and therefore there is nothing to do. Because the truth of the matter that intervention is more of the fiscal policies. I see trillions of naira being issued through the intervention. If CBN has to do that, what is the function of the banks?
Well, we'll still find time to talk about that at another time. Let's quickly move on. Access Bank PLC announces a court-ordered meeting to conclude holdco structure. The meeting, according to the information or according to the release, will be held on Thursday, December 16, 2021 at plot 14/15 Prince Alaba, Oniru Street, Oniru Estate, Victoria Island, at 10 a.m. or soon thereafter, at which place and time the shareholders are requested to attend. Resolutions to be proposed include the transfers of the 35,545,225,622 ordinary shares of 50 kobo each in the issued and paid up share capital of Access Bank PLC, held by the shareholders, to Access Holdings PLC in exchange for the allotment of same ordinary shares of 50 kobo each in the share capital of the holdco to the shareholders in proportion to their shareholding in the bank credited as fully paid without any further act or deed. In other words, the current Access Bank is going to transform and become Access Bank Limited, but a new company is going to emerge, which is Access Holdco. Now, number of shares not adjusted, quantities held by investors remain same. When it comes to shareholding, right, nothing is changing. But then, Malam, something is changing. Holdco is not only in name. Tell us, what do you see that will subsequently change alongside this exercise in Access Bank?
Well, a bank like Access Bank going for Access Holdco, I think is a welcome development, because I see it. This is the bank keep on expanding, and the more you expand, you go into other countries. They may have a different rule against your parent company, like CBN here, restricted banking to banking. You may go and acquire a bank that may allow banking to do other things. So if you acquire a bank that do other things beyond the banking, how do you accommodate them? So the only way for the Access Bank to continue expanding, accommodate this, is to have Access or Holdco, because that will say that if I acquire a bank that do beyond banking, I will take everything. The bank, I will take it as a bank. The other one, I have another outlet that can carry them along. So for me, it's a welcome development for Access going into that, and they deserve to do that.
Even in Nigeria, we know that a few other companies have hitherto operated more as sister companies to Access Bank. Aruna, do you see these companies coming under the Holdco arrangement, or like Malam has just said, you see entirely new forms of companies probably diversifying into some other forms of operations, particularly in countries that enable a bank to veer into a lot of other financial market services?
I think that is exactly what we are going to see. Just as he has explained, all the subsidiary will now be under the OTCO, and which means the subsidiary can go ahead and do that which are not core banking, because they are no longer operating under Access Bank. You know, like you said, Access Bank is going to be Access Bank Limited, which will be part of the family of OTCO. It will now be a subsidiary of the OTCO. So the rest can go ahead and do what they feel that they can do, because that will no longer be under the supervision of Central Bank.
Now, Madam, let me put this question to you. Let us assume that some of the companies that currently operate as sister companies to Access Bank now are brought into this arrangement, right? What value do you think that is going to create? Let us assume that they are going to remain outside of this Holdco arrangement. You know, let me just explain myself better. You know, before, WAPIC was under Access Bank. Then their registrar, their capital market arm, and all those. But now they form another group called Coronation, so to speak. Let us assume that the Coronation group would come under this arrangement, right? What value? Then how will you see this Holdco of Access Bank? Let us also assume, because in this case, until the entire arrangement is approved, nobody can say anything. All right, the bank cannot say that these other institutions will be coming or not until the court-ordered meeting is concluded, and then they go back to the court and the whole thing is completed. Let us assume that, okay, they are not going to be coming, Coronation will remain as Coronation, and then a new set of companies will now begin to emerge under the Holdco. Which of these arrangements do you think will be preferable, and what do you think investors can bring out subsequently?
Well, for me, I expect that Access Holdco should go beyond banking. And the truth of the matter that when we look at the other Holdco, they go beyond banking. Take IBTC Holdco. They have a pension fund that is bigger than the bank. And nothing stops Access Bank acquiring pension fund, especially as other PFs now, they are going to pay the capitalization. So it's an opportunity for Access Holdco to look at one or two add to its group. The bigger the better. And if the coronation decided to join the Holdco, then what I expect the Holdco should increase their share because they are not part of it. Now they have to accommodate them. In any way, the bigger the better, and it's a welcome development. Either they acquire through coronation or through other means. I see they have the capacity to go beyond the banking, and that is a welcome development, especially as they spread across Africa. So it's a welcome development for the Access Co, and I believe it will add value to it.
You see, we have always we have seen Holdco in the market, or let me say we have seen Holdcos in the market. But from what we know about Access Bank, they are always bringing differences. They are always bringing vibrancy. They are always bringing changes to the way they do their own. I have this notion, I have this feeling that at the end of the day, this might just be a Holdco arrangement that is going to be far more beneficial to everybody. Aruna, what do you think?
Yes, I support it. I think at the end of this, the synergy that the rest of the subsidiaries are going to bring to Access will not make Access trade at the price at which it's traded as we speak.
I think, nothing is concluded yet. We are not saying, because the companies are not actually subsidiaries of Access Bank as we speak. They were subsidiaries of Access Bank until some years past. Now they operate as independent company, but rather as sister companies. It's like the people you have been in relationship with before, and that you are still relating with, not as subsidiaries, but as sister companies. I know what I'm saying, but I don't want to talk too much because I don't want to preempt so many things. But we follow through. A lot of arrangements will still come forth from what I'm sensing sincerely, not from privileged information. I'm an analyst. I take time to look at what the possibilities are, and then I have accounts in banks here and there. I know what institutions have relationship with one bank or the other without even talking to anybody within the organization. Okay, on the strength of that, in this Access Bank Holdco, there are lots that might eventually come up to the benefit of the shareholders. I've said my own. We'll wait to see how it plays out. Let us now come to this issue. I don't know how I will be able to cut time so that we don't dwell too much on this particular issue. It was hot. It was burning. It was on fire. It sets the market on fire in the course of last week. Issues surrounding Honeywell sales of shares to Flamills PLC. Flamills announced that it has reached an agreement with Honeywell Group Limited to acquire 71.69% majority interest and additional 5.06% being held by FBN Holdings PLC. EcoBank, on the other hand, came out, not as a matter of fact from EcoBank, sincerely. The publication came from the lawyer, one Kunle Ogunbanwo. I actually tried to speak with him, but he said, when I make calls to anybody and you prove to me that you are too busy, call back, I forget about you. Because me that is calling you, are you telling me that I'm less busy? For goodness sake, we are all busy at our different levels. That is the truth of the matter. But by the time I call you, you are telling me you are busy or that I leave you. That is the gospel truth. The information did not come from EcoBank. The information came from the lawyer of EcoBank. The publication was not made by EcoBank. The publication was made by the lawyer to EcoBank. And what did he say? He placed a caveat on any shareholder of Honeywell Group Limited. It warned off prospective buyers on the ground that Honeywell Group Limited is hugely indebted to EcoBank and that the debt is currently the subject of litigation. It alleged that due to the company's failure to liquidate the said loan facilities, EcoBank was constrained to to commence winding up proceedings against Honeywell Group Limited at the Federal High Court, Lagos, in suit FHC/L/CP/1571/2015. Honeywell, on the other hand, came with their own report issued by the company secretary that there is no winding up petition currently pending or live against Honeywell Flour Mills PLC in any court in Nigeria. They said also there is no pending court order restraining trading in the shares of Honeywell or inhibiting Honeywell or its owners from dealing in its assets. The issue, according to Honeywell, as to whether Honeywell is indebted to EcoBank is still before the courts, and the final decision remains the exclusive preserve of the courts. It is also important to state that the Court of Appeal judgment being referred to in the reports did not declare Honeywell to be indebted to EcoBank. Now, Malam, who do we believe? Number two, what do we believe? Now, listen to me very well, Malam. Honeywell shares trade actively despite these court actions. Before the announcement, Honeywell shares trade actively. We saw the price moving up. There was also the issue of probably First Bank acquiring it or not. You recall? And at the time, the price was moving. EcoBank did not come out. There was no restriction. Because the way I'm looking at it, Malam, I've been in this market for 30 years running. You have also been there. If there is any restriction, I think it should be a general restriction, directed to the management of the NGX, restricting trading in the shares of Honeywell. We didn't hear that. EcoBank did not inform the market of any such. Now, why haven't they stopped trading on Honeywell shares before now? But they are now coming to announce that there is a winding up process after Flour Mills' announcement. What is the difference between Honeywell Group and Honeywell Flour?
Well,
plenty questions.
You see the truth of the matter that we know Honeywell Groups through Honeywell Flour, because all other companies that are under Honeywell Group are not as publicly known as Flour, Honeywell Flour.
Yes.
So when you talk of Honeywell Flour, it's just like the main stake of the Honeywell Group. That is one. Two, when the lawyer make a statement, the bank did not deny it. So as far as concerned, I don't look at who make the statement. The statement is made as a relation to the EcoBank, and EcoBank never denied that statement. So what it means, as far as I'm concerned, is EcoBank that make that statement, because they never say no.
Malam,
yes,
EcoBank did not make that statement. The lawyer made. Let me explain to you why. EcoBank has their corporate communication department. They have their channels of communicating with the shareholders, with the customers, with the banks, with the public. In this case, they couldn't have come to deny or not deny. Yes, but it was their lawyer. And let me tell you this. When I tried to speak with the management of EcoBank, they didn't give me any information. They rather said I should discuss with the lawyer. And when I tried to discuss with the lawyer, he was not interested in talking.
Look, let me tell you, a lawyer did not mention his name. What he mentioned is EcoBank. So the EcoBank has a stake in this issue.
Yes.
If they don't have any stake, they will say, look, we did not say this. But because it says what their minds are, and that is why they keep quiet. And the market reacted to it. I tell you, if not because of the intervention of the Flour Mill statement, the price of Honeywell could have gone below 3 naira.
Now, let me put it.
But it changed because the buyer say, I'm aware. And when the buyer say is aware, so now the issue come to light that, look, this issue is not hearsay. The buyer is aware. And once the buyer is aware, it cooled down the tension of the market. And that is why you see the stock rebounds back. I'm telling you, nobody believed the statement said by the Honeywell because the truth of the matter that they are not the buyer. They are just trying to sell. So nobody wants to look at that statement. What you are looking, is the buyer aware? The buyer say, I'm aware of the situation. Despite this, I go ahead. So that means whatever the consequences of the outcome of the result, the buyer is willing and ready to take care of it. And that confidence is that what restore back the market, not the statement made by the Honeywell.
All right. Who do we believe? Honeywell, Flour Mills, EcoBank's lawyer. Who do we believe?
I think I would rather believe Flour Mill. Why? Because for that quantum, 18 billion naira, I don't think it's a small change. And I believe Flour Mill is such a big institution that they won't go into any deal without doing their due diligence. And they came out and said that actually we are aware of this. And we believe that all this are just, I just put there maybe for, I wouldn't know, but I believe at the end of the day there's going to be settlement. So if, like he said, if the market has not received information from Flour Mill, what happened to Honeywell as we speak would it have been? But they came out and said, yes, we are aware. So I would rather believe Flour Mill than any other.
Let me ask you one question. Flour Mill is saying they are aware that there is the information or the litigation or the court order to wind up Honeywell, or that they are aware that Honeywell Group is indebted to EcoBank. What are they aware of?
Okay, what they said categorically is that they are not aware that there is a winding up process against Honeywell, because if there was, they would have known. And if you look at the publication of the lawyer you actually referred to, it was actually fair, because it makes us to understand that the case was dismissed at the Federal High Court at the Court of Appeal. It was just saying that they will be going to a Supreme Court. If the case was dismissed, that was the word used, dismissed at the Federal High Court and dismissed at Court of Appeal. I'm not a lawyer, but what I'm just thinking is that it has no substance.
Malam, do you believe in what Aruna has just said?
Well, what he's saying is he has to understand the language of the court. If the case is struck out, you say it is dead on arrival. Dismissing the case does not mean the case doesn't have substance. And because the case has substance, that is why the Flour Mill have to come and say, I'm aware.
No, Malam, let me stop you there first.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Aware of what? That there is a winding up process according to what Kunle Ogunbanwo San said, or that there were issues between Honeywell and EcoBank. What are they aware of?
Let me tell you. When you have issue with the bank, it's not issue of structure of who is the director. Always it's debt. And when banks go to pursue their debt, they will ask for the winding up. Because without winding up, how do you recover your debt? It's not a new thing for EcoBank or any other bank to ask an institute to be wind up. It's their common phenomena. So that one is understandable to the market. So whether it's stated clearly or not, the issue is they will ask for the wind up, because without winding up, they cannot recover their debt. So the question that there is an issue of wind up is true. And this will prevail in the very near future if this transaction continue by the time they got court injunction. Because court can say, no, there is an issue, and if we allow this go, what will be what will be after this transaction? No, they can obtain the court injunction and everything can stop to a standstill. So the truth of the matter, me, I'm comfortable with the statement made by the Flour Mill. They are aware. So it's up to the Flour Mill to find the way getting out of it, or else the next you will hear the line of action injunction to stop this transaction. It happened to so many things. So if it happened to this one, it's not impossible.
Malam, two people cannot be saying different things, and the two of them are correct. One will be lying, the other one will be saying the truth. In this case, the lawyer said EcoBank was constrained to commence winding up proceedings against Honeywell Group Limited. And Honeywell came to say, right, that there is no winding up petition currently pending or live against Honeywell Flour Mills in any court in Nigeria. Are you telling me that the management of Honeywell are lying?
The truth of the matter, none of them said that there is no issue in the court. So what is the issue in the court? Let them come out and tell us what are the issues in the court now. And we all know it that this is not surprising to Honeywell. Any other institution taken by a bank, they will ask for winding up. We have seen it in many other companies.
I know
and that's
that
what
there
they will
was a
ask
court
for.
case.
So the question
Because
is that flour mill, who is the stakeholder, who is the buyer, he says it's aware. And since they are aware, they have to find the way out of it. Or else, next you will hear court injection.
Okay.
And by the time you get court injection, everybody will stand still.
Malam, where do we now stand as investors to sell or to buy Honeywell? Shouldn't we just...
For me, there is no question dabbling yourself into the troubled water. There is this issue. Nobody write it up. And the issue is in court. And court has not come with the final decision. So it exists. The buyer who is willing to part out his money, he says aware. So we are comfortable with the buyer being aware, but the caution is this. Even if the buyer is aware, even if this transaction consummated, are the flour mill going to merge with the Honeywell? The answer for what is available now, no. So if they are not going to merge as a minority shareholder, what is your stake? A company that gives you 7 kobo dividend now is trading at 4 naira. Don't you see other companies that trade far below this and pay you much better? What are you waiting? Take your profit and say bye-bye.
Take your profit
yes.
and say bye-bye. Aruna, what
I
do you
won't
think?
look at it that way. I believe that since as far as these issues will be resolved in the near future, nobody actually understood when flour mill came to the market that they have interest in buying over only flour mill, that EcoBank will come the next day with that report. And nobody also believed that the next day flour mill will be responding. And the only flour mill, yes, they have been giving 7 kobo dividend. I remember we have actually an alliance flour mill. I've seen their only flour mill, I see their any per share. But it can just be because as a result of their dividend payer policy, which is likely going to be changed when flour mill is actually on top of it. So I'm not really looking at it because I've seen Honeywell perform over the years. The moment they increase their dividend payout policy, they will pay better dividend. It's not as if the 7 kobo they are paying, pay 7 kobo out of 35 kobo any per share. I think that was very miserly, which I don't think flour mill is going to do. So the only thing is that, yes, I might not say come and if you are in need, wait and watch what will happen next.
Anyway, we will still have to create more time to talk about this issue, whether to invest more or to sell Honeywell as we speak. But we've got to move forward. IMF advises removal of fuel subsidy in 2022. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, has advised the federal government of Nigeria to completely remove fuel and electricity subsidies in 2022. According to the IMF, the removal of fuel and electricity subsidies should be considered a priority as part of the fiscal policy. We know all that the government needs to do is just to announce we are removing subsidy. But seeing that living in Nigeria is already difficult, I'm a Nigerian, I can tell that. Will this not add to the suffering of the masses? I don't know.
If we are groaning under the price of 162 naira per liter, if it's not 320, that is neck breaking. There's no way that it will not add to it. The only thing is that a number of people will take to alternative transport. Maybe if you're a car owner, you can buy 5 liters with what you used to buy 10 liters. The only thing to do is to park your car and enter motor, which will not be convenient for you. There's no way that will not groan underneath it because it's already hard, like you have said. Increasing it will mean that increasing your what do they call it, your budget for transportation. And this is a essential commodity that almost everybody uses it, including the roadside vulcanizer. They use fuel. So the moment there is a price increase in fuel, there's no way it will not have a reverberating effect on all other prices.
Malam, why do you think the Nigerian government should listen to IMF?
Well,
shouldn't we rather look
you
at
see,
the people?
You see, this is not the first time IMF said this. It's left for the government. They have said this numbers of times. But let me tell you, since the beginning of the post-republic, how many strikes Obasanjo faced because of the rise in the price of the petrol? Every government doesn't survive this, and including this one. And go and check the history. Most of the government that review their price of petroleum toward the election, they lost the election. Yes, we have the history in Africa. Many countries that review the price of their PMS lost election. So they cannot separate these two. And don't forget that if you remove this subsidy, who is more affected? It's not the poor man. The real person affected is the middle class. And the middle class are the ones that decide for the country. The poor man use kerosene, they have removed it. All the goods, the yam, the orange, the potato, they are carrying it through diesel. The subsidy has been removed. So what is closer to the poor man has been removed. But who benefit in the PMS is the middle class. They have their Jeep, they have their SBU, and they are consuming a lot of oil. It doesn't make sense. You are buying kerosene 300 naira. You are buying diesel 340 naira. Then you are buying PMS 162. Not only that one, the NNPC said that monthly they subsidize not less than 250 billion. With this heavy indebtedness of the nation, how can you continue subsidizing what you don't have? If the government have this money to subsidize, fine and good. They didn't even have the money. So will you go and borrow and dash out? It doesn't make sense. So for the government, yes, they cannot continue this subsidy, even if they want to sustain it, because they don't have the capacity. But the truth of the matter that, will the middle class allow them? Go and see, most of this labor
So,
are not poor
what
people,
is now
they are
going to happen?
class.
What are we expecting?
The government knows what is going to happen.
Okay.
Because the middle class are the one that in control
The
of the
government
unions.
knows what to happen. We will go on a short break. When we return, we'll be analyzing the market. Don't change this channel.
First Money is Nigeria's biggest and most preferred agent banking network. Thanks to First Money, millions of people are living their dreams. Meet some First Money agents who are driving this.
First Money is the best POS that we use in my area. I started with one container beside me. This is my main branch. I have up to 7 branches.
With First Money, I've been able to employ 6 staffs, which 5 are female. So I see First Money as a business to employ and also to empower ladies.
Through First Money, over 1 million people across Nigeria have their financial services needs met daily. In all the accessible local government areas, you're bound to find First Money agents. With First Money, we're bringing financial inclusion and the many benefits that come with it. You first, First Bank.
Welcome back. Now we go straight to market analysis. Last week, for the week ended November 26th, 2021, the All-Share Index of the Nigerian Stock Exchange was up 0.25%. Market capitalization up 0.24% year to date. All-Share Index was up 7.54% and market capitalization up 7.32%. Volume grew geometrically by 146.72. Deals was up 5.56%, while value grew by 10.86. Now, Arena, all key indicators for the week ended in the green quite well, but volume inched up with marginal growth of 10.86%, so to speak, right? But growth in volume, right, was up geometrically. Could that be an indication that growth was largely among low cap stocks?
Yeah, I think among low and middle cap, the only high cap and the big one that we saw grow was only Airtel Africa. We grew like about 3%. And if you look at during the week, most of the volume was controlled by Honeywell. We are talking about the very day that the news entered the market, traded 520 million.
Wow.
So I think that is where the volume is actually coming from.
No, Haruna, the volume came from the on-the transaction. Large volume transaction of 1.9 billion. So if you remove it, you will not see much changes. So the large volume transaction, you opt it from the normal transaction, you will see that there wasn't any
But that was
change.
off market.
No, the volume here is including that. Because
But,
the volume here, 3.2 billion, you are seeing, remove 1.9 billion of Ondo.
Well,
Then
I
you
don't,
will see
I
the
don't
two.
know whether that is how the market works, but the information we get while traded is that so will be traded off market.
Even if it is off market, because the shares would have to be incorporated, there's no way they will
Even the
remove
value.
it.
Why
There's
did
no
the
way they
value
will not.
increase by
They
this? Why the volume increased by 146? Because of that large volume transaction. Large volume transaction is part of the transaction.
So it will come as cross deal,
Yes.
more or less. All right. But that being said, we could see even Oando is a low price equity. So we saw the volume drivers among low price or
Yes.
low cap
Yes.
stocks. Malam, I put this question to you. 36 equities were down in price in the course of last week, while there were 30 on the gainer side. Saying that there was marginal growth in all share index and that of capitalization, to me, the market is still trying to find a clear-cut path, a bearing. Or what do you think?
Well, yes, to some extent, but knowing fully that this is the last quarter of the year, I still envisage that there will be more upsurge before the end of the year, because most of the private equity like to do a rebalancing, and the same thing with portfolio management. So I envisage to see more volumes, more transaction before the end of the year, especially in view of the fact that the MPC policy remain the same. So the only option you have is to change to equity, where you can make some changes.
All right, I don't know. What's the hope for this week?
I believe we will see a better market. Like I've just said, the result and the marketplace are encouraging. And whether you say this on paper or not, but the economy is growing.
What sector are you looking at?
I don't think it will be a specific sector. It will be across, because most of the.
But every market movement will be dictated by specific equities and in some cases industry. So what stocks are you looking at?
Because it should be, I'm looking at it if we call from the banking, because if you look at it, most of the bank stocks we actually brought down 2 weeks and a week ago. I think they will be the one that will begin to recover.
Malam, what equities do you think I should? Maybe some people that are looking for how to make money, buy Christmas chicken and all those.
I see changes in the telecom for 2 reasons.
But their prices are too high.
They're not too standing. Don't forget that the second telecom is coming. They have closed their book building, and they are coming with a primary offer, and this will trigger the market price. Because if the offer came above the market, people rush to the market. If the price came below the market, people rush to the primary offer. So they are in either. And the cement industry still is likely going to change. Don't forget there is a buyback before the end of the year. And one of the major players is going to do buyback, and that will trigger the price and pull the rest of the cement industry.
Okay, we quickly look at those equities that really gained in percentage last week. I just said about 30 of them. University Press PLC was ahead of others with a growth of 27.83%. We saw Honeywell 16.81%. We also saw Coronation. Coronation, I expected that it should have been doing better than this, but the Q3 result was not that good, yet it managed a growth of 4.17% last week. FBNH, I specifically added that at 12 naira with a growth of 3.90%. Malam, University Press, this equity will often just jump up, and then thereafter.
Yes, it has to, because you see, they were comparing with the previous year. During the COVID, there wasn't schools. Now that the school opened, so there is buying for books, textbooks. So therefore,
we have seen their result. Why is so fantastic?
No, you see, the truth of the matter, when you compare to when they were not selling and to the time they are selling, there is a different variation. And generally, the publication of most of these companies, they are likely to bounce back because there is schools opening, and therefore more purchase of their textbooks, exercise books, and what have you.
Aruna, do you see this being sustained?
I don't say this so because if you look at it, the only news that entered into UPL during that week that must have triggered that was the 172 board meeting notice. That is like the day it entered the market, that is when it began to gain. So if that was the reason why it began to gain, that means it cannot be sustained.
Okay, where do you see Honeywell after this week, Aruna? Should flour mills also rise?
The odds were more in favor of Honeywell, and that was why you see that we saw a rally in Honeywell. Though there was a little rally in flour mill, but I still believe that one, flour mill and EcoBank will sit down and discuss this issue of
all right, because our time is fast spent, we need to move fast.
It will move.
Now, Malam, FBN seems comfortable at 12 naira. What do you think about it?
You see, they said that they are holding their board meeting by the end of the month. And the end of the month is either tomorrow or next tomorrow. So because of this expectation, FBN is likely to rise or sustain that price until the result is out.
All right, we briefly look at those equities on the gainers chart. 44.44% AECO, losing from 1.26 kobo to 70 kobo after adjustment for. Now, do you think it's still attractive after this adjustment?
Yes, if you look at it, when it was market, it's supposed to start at 54 kobo, it never did. It went to 59, 64, 70. Even at 70 kobo, it traded massively, but that volume was not enough to bring. I believe that ICO will trade over 70 kobo.
Malam, Mansard is still losing even after their reconstruction. What do you have to say?
Because they need to prove beyond the reasonable doubt that
and they have not been able to prove.
Yes. Because now they have been reconstructed. What are they likely going to be their outcomes? We have seen their earnings, but we want to know of their dividend.
And I want to put this question to you also, that this equity that says they are into gold mining, I can see them at 38 kobo. The name is Japan Gold. Are they not gradually coming to the car park?
They are not. Because most of the time, you see, this stock surprised me. For the last 3 months, the moment it come around this, you will see more bidding. And once it reach 44, it will stop there. So it seems there is some people who are aware of what is going on there and willing to mop it up, not allowed it to go further down, but not allowed to go to buy it at high price.
Should I not enter?
So my advice that the holder should hold his own, because the market, it doesn't show that it's likely going to go.
Aruna, your opinion about this?
I don't believe in that at all. I think it's going to the car park gradually. Those people that are coming to defend it, how long will they defend it, given the quality of result that we see in the market?
Aruna, they are not defending it, they are taking position.
They are taking position.
Somebody is taking position.
By the time those people finish taking position, that stock will go back to.
No, let us assume that they still continue to take position.
They are taking position.
What I've seen in this market, look at Oando, look at Transcorp when it was down. I think in this market, when you see a high price stock coming low, so long as the company is not dead, if you want to take position, just make up your mind that you want to take long-term position.
I want him to remind him, when people are when people are taking position of the first bank, did it go down? It will not go down
because First Bank have results. First Bank have result to put on the. But what result does Japan have to put on the table?
Look, those who are taking position, they know why they are taking position, and they will not tell you.
We should still have 3 minutes before we go. FCMB. All right, we quickly look at their result. Profit after tax declined 0.71%, and then turnover grew by 2.08%. The result looks weak, but the indicators, the ratios look good. In 1 minute, is it good to buy? Or
it's a flat performance.
Is it good to buy?
Those that were buy should stay.
And then, if you are not in it, don't buy.
Keep an eye on it.
All right. Now, with this and Fidelity, which one do you think is better? Malam, we'll go to UPDC. The turnover down 20.26%, profit after tax down 22.15%. We know UPDC. What is the real estate investment trust in 1 minute?
Well, the real trust investment are investment that you are investing in a conglomerate of assets managed by an asset manager.
Just like a mutual fund?
Like
sort
mutual
of?
like
funds,
mutual
a pool of
funds.
fund.
Okay. Now, is it good to buy or I should sell?
For me, I don't encourage users because all those that were listed, they did not prove beyond reasonable
We
doubt.
have to go now. Malam, Academic Press, which is the last we'll take. This is very fantastic. Growth of 285% in turnover, and the profit after tax from a loss of 150 million. They wrote it off and then grew by another 197 million. But what is most attractive to me in this equity is the fact that the earning per share is 33 kobo when the price is 36 kobo. Now, looking at it, PE ratio for the half year 1.1, earnings yield 90.57%, profit margin 9.35%. This must be the best result in this market.
Well, you see, it's one of the best results, but generally in the press industry, we are expecting this because last year, COVID did not allow them to sell.
But
This
why
year-
is it that, of course, I've seen the price almost at the highest level? Is it still buyable at this 36 kobo arena or not?
It is.
Yes, because the market will soon look at it.
Right. I want to say a very big thank you to you, Malam, and then Aruna, for coming. You will see that the last few minutes we really didn't have time to talk the way we would have liked to. But whichever way, we believe that we've been able to bring to you a good presentation this time around too. Thank you, Malam. God bless you.
Thank
Please
you.
call Malam anytime. And then Aruna, call Aruna also at any point in time. I want to say a very big thank you to the management of Lagos Television and the staffers of Lagos Television, though the rate at which they are pushing us today is too much. My staff and my team, you are the best. I want to say a very big thank you to you. And for you also, for watching, I say a very big thank you to you. By the grace of God, we shall be coming your way again, the same time, the same station, next week. Until then, I remain yours sincerely in wealth creation, accumulation and preservation. Abayomi or Bapolijo. God bless you.